Welcome, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Love Experience Show. I am your host, Ashley J. I'm a relationship coach, a dating coach, a couples therapist, wife, mother, author, speaker, and the host of this wonderful show. I am so glad to be here another week with you guys, and I'm so excited about what is getting ready to happen tonight, y'all, because this is going to be good. As you see, tonight's title of this episode is My Love is Strong Enough. And it's twofold, so you're going to have to pay attention. You're going to have to pay attention for why I chose this title, because it's going to bless you. Okay. So, while we are getting started, go ahead and share this episode with 5 people. Get 5 people together to come watch this episode with you, because you don't want to miss this. Have a watch party. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's have a watch party and get this thing going. Okay. Also, don't forget to go to itsashleyj.com and head to the store to get your Love Experience Show merch. It's there. You want to get it and you're going to love it. Okay. So tonight I have another special guest from Clubhouse. Y'all, Clubhouse has been blessing me with
hmm
guests. Okay. So I have another special guest from Clubhouse, Mrs. Angela Brooks. Angela, how are you?
I'm wonderful, Ashley. How are you?
I'm doing great. So go ahead and tell the people about who you are.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ashley. So, my name is Angela Reese Brooks. I am the author of let me go this way, y'all.
There you go.
Becoming the Boss Wife. So, this is my book. This is my baby. Not only am I an author, I am a mentor. I'm a motivator, but most importantly, I am a transformational speaking wife coach. Now, what that means is that I coach the woman within the wife to her next level life. Okay.
Mm,
So yes,
mhm.
that's real stuff right there, Ashley. Real
Okay.
stuff. So that's me in a nutshell. Author, mentor, motivator. I'm a wife, a grandmother, and yeah, that's it. An author, published author.
All right. Y'all go ahead. I'm gonna put the let me do it right now. I'm gonna put where you can find the book in the chat.
So the book is
And
available on Amazon.
yes, I'm sorry. And this is where you can follow Angela. There you go.
Awesome,
Okay.
awesome.
All right. So what is your love experience?
My love experience. So let's see. Let's talk about it a little bit because that's what the book is definitely centered around my love experience. So I was reading earlier today a Bible verse. Love is patient, love is kind. We know it so well, right?
Hmm.
But nobody ever told me, Ashley, that love was going to be hard.
Hmm.
I have been married for it'll be 24 years this year. And yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. But I think I stepped into marriage um, with the expectation that my husband was going to save me. You know, I
Mm.
walked in there thinking I had this fairy tale syndrome. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I'm an only child. And
Mm.
all I ever did was dream. Like I believe in fairy tales. The kind of fairy tales where you have like the handsome prince.
Yes.
You have the handsome prince and the beautiful princess, and like the handsome prince rides up on his white horse, sweeps her off
Hmm.
her feet. They fall madly in love. They get married. They live
Hmm.
happily ever after.
Hmm.
But how many of us know that in marriage that there's not always a happily ever after, right?
Yeah.
So my love experience is my marriage. 22 years of marriage. My husband confessed that he committed adultery at the beginning of our marriage, all the way up 22 years of our marriage. So, and that was a very hard pill to swallow. So, with
Yes.
that, hearing that and reading that scripture, love is patient. Love was not kind. um, my love experience is learning to forgive,
Mm-hmm.
learning to forgive, and still be able to love that person. So, like I said, we're still married. So,
Mm-hmm.
and we all fall short, of the glory of God. But it was not an easy situation to love, to forgive, to forget it. And I still have trigger moments right now, where I go back and I think about some things and then like, hey, wait a minute, So,
Mm-hmm.
but my love experience was hard. It was hard. Yeah.
Okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
So I have two questions.
Mm-hmm.
First question, how did you how how do I want to phrase this? Okay. Did you have any inkling of an idea
Oh
that
yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah, Ashley. Yeah. First of all, I knew the man that I married.
Okay.
Okay. So I knew the man that I married, but I think that I put on blinders
Mhm.
and I blocked out. I literally blocked out that. I felt
Mhm.
like when he said I do,
Mhm.
that his I do really meant he was ready. But I didn't realize when he said I do, he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. I think I was ready. I was ready for the idea of marriage, but I
Okay.
wasn't ready to really, really be a wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did he cheat before you guys got married?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was uh, I guess a repeat offender.
Okay.
If we were in the court of law, that would be what? A repeat offender. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay.
so yeah. So what I thought, Ashley, and which I feel like a lot of other women, do, they have in their mind. Once he marries me, oh,
It'll
that's
change.
over.
Yeah.
But it's it's not always over because
Mhm.
that thing in him didn't leave. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was embedded in him, and he just repeated the cycle over and over again until God said, "Enough is enough. Enough is enough." No,
Yeah.
sir. You know, yeah. And I prayed. No, okay. So we can be in denial all day long, but
Mhm.
as women, when you thinking a thing, you might not can put your hands on it, or you might not can see it.
Mhm.
God, and sometimes that's God blocking us too,
Yeah.
protecting us, because if you see it, it might be a whole total different story. We might be having a whole total different conversation right now about the fact that I saw it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So God protected me from that, but I knew deep in my heart something's not right. Something's, even though he came home, you know but something's not right. And it didn't sit well with me. And I did a lot of praying. I'm a praying wife, Ashley.
Okay.
Oh, I'm a praying wife. I'm a praying woman. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But yes, ma'am, to answer your question, yeah, I had an idea. I just couldn't catch it. How about that?
Okay. I can accept that. Okay. So how did he tell you?
Oh my God. So I'll give you this I'll bring you back with me. I'll take you back.
Okay.
How about
Okay.
that? So I have been praying to God, because I've been saying, like, God, I need you to show me. I need you to, God, do it in such a way to where he can't deny it. Do it in such a way.
Mm.
And I asked God to convict him in his spirit.
Mm.
And one day I got a call, and it was him, on the other end of
Mhm.
the phone. And he said, when I get home, I want to talk to you.
Mhm.
Now, the whole time I'm talking to God, but I
Mhm.
ain't thinking God's hearing me. You know how it is sometimes. We
Yeah.
thinking God don't hear our prayers because nothing is happening. Just because
Mhm.
nothing is happening doesn't mean that God's not listening and that God's not
Right.
doing anything.
Right. Right.
So when he got home, he came in the room and he said to me, I have something to tell you. And I'm like, oh my God, what's wrong? And he says to me that he had, literally, so I'm gonna do it not verbatim, but I'm gonna just do it in my terms. So it was
Okay.
more like, I have, we've been married for blah 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 years, and I love you, because you hear that word, I love you, like, oh boy, what's going on?
Yeah.
And he let me know that throughout our entire marriage that he had been unfaithful, and my heart dropped. I
Right.
don't know if it was relief. Well, part of it was relief, because now God revealed, and God revealed it. So, but the other part was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, are you
Yeah.
serious? you
Yeah.
know are you serious? And I asked questions about it, who, what, but it was multiple women. It wasn't just one woman.
Okay.
One woman. So now,
Okay.
as a woman, now you want to know, did you protect yourself? Because those
Yeah.
are things, those are questions that we ask. Some
Mhm.
situations yes, some situations no. And that was hard for me. That was very, very hard for me. I went into a depression. Nobody knew, because I can hide it so well, right?
Mhm.
And but it started to show on the outside. So my hair. I cut my hair because my hair came out. So that was one of the results. Because I was sometimes we hold things in, but
Oh,
it
that
comes out.
stress.
You see what I'm saying? That stress,
Mhm.
it shows on the outside. And I mean, I hear that fall out literally, like patches and things like that. But I was losing my hair. And I noticed that I wouldn't eat as much. And then I would go to work, but I would be, happy go lucky at work, because that was a little piece. But then when
Mhm.
I get home, I'm in the bed and I'm depressed. Talking to God, like, why me?
Mhm.
I didn't know, and I didn't realize that it had to be me. Not so much as the situation, but because the birthing of the book and the story and the process, and to talk about what happened and how it happened and why it happened, you
Yeah.
know. And my book, so the title of my book, number one, is Becoming the Boss Wife. So actually, with the word boss, I'm not talking about it from an entrepreneurial standpoint. I'm not even calling him a boss. The word boss means built on sacrificial suffering. And
Wow.
as women, we sacrifice so much sometimes for our men. And the end of my book is literally me saying, I survived all of that. I sacrificed so much to realize it's all about me.
Mm.
I got to love me before I can love anybody else. It's
Mhm.
about my worth. Putting God first. That's my
Mhm.
first love.
Mhm.
That's where it all went wrong. You know, I love God all my life,
Mhm.
but I think at some point my marriage became my God. My husband became my God. Not that worship like that, you worshiping an idol,
Yeah.
anything. But one thing about it, God says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Rather be man, rather be marriage, rather be job, rather be money, whatever. You will not have.
Yes.
Okay, you understand? So that's where I was. And to get that news in here, it was heartbreaking for me. The
Mm.
bounce back the bounce back for me was my relationship with God. If it wasn't for my foundation, Ashley, to know, to draw on and gain strength from God,
Mhm.
we probably wouldn't even be having this conversation. And
Okay.
that mental health, you see that mental health, a lot of times we don't even understand mental health. That really played on my mental.
Yes. I'm sure.
Hmm.
I'm absolutely sure. Okay. So I want to take a beat. Do you guys have children?
Oh yeah, we have children.
So did
They're
you tell
adults though. They're adults.
Okay. So did you have to tell them?
Um, so my girls know their mother.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of stuff they read in the book. They
Okay.
read in the book, and a lot of things that they know. But I try not to. So I don't want everyone to change their thought process or their thoughts about their father. So
Hmm.
they know the bare minimum. How about that? They don't
Okay.
know everything, and they
Okay.
don't need to know everything.
Okay. That's true. Um, I I was just wondering, what's the process of even, you know, talking about that with them. So, okay, I get
Hmm.
that. All right. This is heavy.
I know. I
This is
know,
heavy.
I know, but I can talk about it. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Like my husband is one of my biggest supporters. He supported the fact that I was writing a book. I had no clue. I was not about to write this book. I promise you, I wasn't about to write this book. I
Okay.
knew I was gonna write a book, but this book, I was not about to put nobody in my business. I'm so serious. I was like, no way, God, you got to be kidding me.
Okay. So, okay. Okay.
Oh, I see. Wait a
So,
minute.
okay. So, let me ask you this. How do you even get yourself comfortable with the idea of sharing that with
Um,
people?
Okay, well, let me move my screen up and then I can tell you
Okay.
we have kind of moved. Something popped up and it moved us. Look, okay, let me get us up. Um, I'm gonna try to get my face. Can you even see my face in here? Because I'm trying to get me
We
back
can
up.
see you.
You can see me?
Uh-huh.
Okay, perfect. So, when God has something for you to do, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think that I know my assignment. I really understand my assignment, part of it rather. I didn't really want to tell my business. I
Mhm.
didn't really want to, so I'm trying to fix my okay. All right. I didn't really want to tell my business, Ashley. I didn't want to
There
because
you
I was
go.
afraid of what people thought. I
Okay.
was afraid of you know, oh my God, they're gonna look at me in such a way to where she's stupid. I don't know why why she's even still there, but they don't understand the assignment. See, it's a God assignment. It's nothing about me. And
Mhm.
God has an assignment for the marriage and for me
Mhm.
to talk about the marriage and for me to talk about forgiveness and how I was able to forgive my husband after I feel like he ripped my heart out my chest.
Yeah.
But Ashley, I'm gonna go back to something that you had asked me, and you asked a good question. You said, "Did you know, or did he cheat before getting
Mhm.
married?"
Mhm.
And I think that um, for me, like I knew it. He did that, and love, like your heart. So you can't help what the heart wants.
Right.
Even rather good or bad, you can't help what the heart wants. But at some point, and this is for any young woman out here, if I could go back in time, I probably would not do it the same way
Okay.
because now I know and I know my value and I know my worth and I know like I don't have to take that.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not anything about it's not money, it's not sex, it's not anything like that. It's that I think that I got to a place to where like he's mine, he belongs to me, and maybe it has something to do with that only child syndrome. I don't know, because I think other women too feel the same way. and it might not be them being an only child. It's a part of possessing and owning something, and maybe that was something that was in me at the time that I felt like, okay, he's mine. I know
Mhm.
he loves me, and and it stuck with me, and I stayed in, and it's toxic. It
Mhm.
is toxic. And I took that same toxic thing into my marriage, but we have, a good marriage. We're friends. Like it a good, besides that, we're
Mhm.
friends. We talk. Um, and that's a good thing now, even now with the book and everything. And I know it's hard for him because it kind of makes him look like he's the bad guy. So
Mhm.
one day I'm sure he's going to want to talk about, like, I'm not really the bad guy. I just did some bad things and I learned some. And I'm not defending him, but I'll tell you what he did say to me. I did not know how to love you because I was never taught that.
Mhm.
As a young boy, he said to me, he had it. So his father, he was in a two-parent household for a little bit. And he said he remembered one day traveling with his dad, and his dad took him to his girlfriend's house, his dad's girlfriend house. Now, dad's married. His
Okay.
dad said something to him, and he's a little boy. And his dad said to him, son. So I guess maybe he had a look on his face or something like, this not my mom, so who's this lady? And I don't know what he saw because he didn't tell me what he saw.
Okay.
But his dad said to him, son, it's okay to have a spare because you never know when you're going to catch a flat. And he said that stuck with him forever. Like it was just in his
Wow.
head. So, and then he started being around guys that, had wives or girlfriends and they cheated on them. And it was learned behavior. So it's his behavior. It was his behavior.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep.
I
Okay.
know.
Okay. So so was that revealed after he came clean, or was that
Oh, yeah.
like conversations that you guys
Mm-mm.
had? Okay.
Mm-mm. After.
Okay.
After. Because I had so many questions to why. I mean, I'm a hard worker. I'm a good wife. I'm not. I I'm just like, what is it about? What was it? And I
Mhm.
begin to second guess myself and who I was.
Mhm.
You know, I don't have a low self esteem, but that thing right there will do something to you, Ashley.
Yes.
Like it'll make you, and especially, the last person was a much younger person. So of course, now you're like, okay,
Okay.
all right, what's wrong with me?
Mhm.
Um, and I second guessed and I questioned myself. And no, no. And God let me know, no. But I went through it. I was supposed to go through it so I could be here today talking to you, to talk to other women and say what I did at the altar. I said I do. It was my husband, it was me, and it was God. And I made a commitment to God for
Yeah.
better or for worse.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. And sometimes we don't want to go through the worst. We always want the better.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
always want we always want the better. We don't want to experience anything. You know what I mean, with the worst. We don't want to experience that part.
I definitely agree with that. Because that I feel like that might be part of the reason why so many marriages fail in the very beginning, because you get married and it's blissful, right? The
Right.
wedding is wonderful, but then
Yes.
after the wedding comes the real work, comes the real marriage. And because people are not prepared for that,
Right.
okay, I know I said these words because they're just words to them.
Right.
So I know I said these words, but I didn't sign up for this.
Correct.
I did not sign up for this, so I'm done.
Right.
So yeah, I commend you. I commend you for being the praying wife. I commend you for staying in the marriage so that God could do the healing. So how long from the time he told you, how long did it take for the healing to take place?
So that was, I'm going to be honest with you about the healing part.
Okay.
I'm still healing.
Yeah.
Um, it's no time because you have those trigger moments. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So where things are good and then something, a conversation, a word, a phone call, anything would trigger
Mm-hmm.
something.
Mm-hmm.
And I have that flashback. And it's an ongoing process. So I'm not gonna say that I'm completely just healed and delivered and all of this. No, I'm not gonna do that. That would be a lie. So it's a process. But to say when I was able to, talk about it, I think writing the book helped a whole lot.
Okay.
Um, and shout out to my publishing company, Beyond the Book Media, because they were really, really a key factor in my recovery in a sense. And what I mean by that, Ashley, is that I did a writer's boot camp and I connected with them, and it's not a so they have a Christian foundation, you see.
Mm-hmm.
And in the process of me even talking about my book, they were ministering to me, about the book, because I was like, I really don't want to write this. I really don't want to say this. And, they had moments where we just stop and we just think and we would write. And I was like,
Okay.
I really don't want to write this. I don't want to write this. I don't want to tell people. And they're like, you have to, because this is what God, this is your purpose. God allowed you to go through that for your purpose, and to help people. You know how many people you're going to touch by just talking about your marriage and talking about infidelity, things that we don't talk about because we brush it under the rug, we hide it, or we sit in our little glass houses like it does not happen, and we know it's happening,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And we
Mm-hmm.
cover it up, and we be hurting inside, and then hurt people,
Yes.
okay?
Yes. Okay. So was it just you in the boot camp, or were there other people in the
Oh no,
boot
it was
camp?
other people. I can't remember how many people.
Okay.
Um, but it was a good bit of us in the boot camp. So we all did it. We did it online, and I wrote this book during the pandemic, right? So
Okay.
at the start of the pandemic, I'm writing a whole book. Um,
So
yeah.
wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I just did the calculation. So he came clean really during the pandemic.
Yes, he did. Isn't that something? In the pandemic, yes, he did.
And
Sure enough,
when everything was shut
at the
down.
start of the pandemic.
So y'all were in the house,
Oh
stuck
yeah,
together,
yeah.
and he just hit you with the okay.
Bam, bam, just like that, Ashley. I'm talking about bam, knock me out.
Okay.
Okay.
So this puts a hope for me. I don't know about for the audience, but this puts a whole new spin on it. Okay, because
Yeah.
that during the pandemic is when we heard, well, I know I heard a lot about people breaking up,
Yeah.
divorces happening or separation trying to happen during the pandemic. But
Mhm.
he told you about his infidelity that took place through the whole marriage
Right.
at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yes.
Y'all had nowhere to run because everything was shut down. Y'all had to be stuck together
Right.
during this whole thing, and you had to work on your marriage
Right.
together
And myself, and work
and
on
yourself.
myself. Yes. Yes. So listen, but his confession was not his doing. No one understand that.
Right,
His
right,
confession was God. And how I know it was God, because the one thing that I asked God to do, I said, God, convict him in his spirit.
right,
I said, convict him in his spirit, oh God, to where he cannot deny it. And
right.
the words that came back to me from my husband, he said it was like God was convicting me. And my husband don't use those words. It was like God was convicting me.
Wow.
And I said, God, confirmation. That was you. Now I look back and be like, God, that was you. Your hand was all over it.
Mm-hmm.
It was all over it.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, in the pandemic. So what are you gonna do? Um, and yeah, we're in the house, but Ashley, I'm like, I don't want to be, I don't want to be with you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, I don't want to be, I don't want to be with you. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be with you. So I did a lot of praying. I did a lot of crying.
Yeah.
Um, Fasting. I'm not gonna say I fast, but I didn't eat. So,
Right.
so literally, my body did its own fast. I didn't eat. I wasn't
Right.
hungry. And I just laid. I remember just laying in the bed, and my daughters would call me on the phone. Mom, what you doing? Oh, I'm tired. Laying down. They know that's not me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm tired. It's like, Mom, what's wrong with you? I'm like, nothing. And I wouldn't tell them. I wouldn't tell them for a reason. I told them I didn't tell them for their protection
Okay.
because, and because I did not want them to feel a certain way about their father. However they feel about their father, that's however they feel. But I did not want that to be why they felt that way.
Right.
No.
Right. Wow. Okay. So, mm-mm-mm. So how did you get through the days? I know you said you prayed,
Mm-hmm.
and you were saying you ain't want no parts of them.
I didn't. Don't touch
So,
me. I don't want you. Leave me alone. All of that. How you get through it, um, and how I got through it, I guess Ashley was. I have a couple of people that are close to me that I could talk to.
mhm,
Um, and I appreciated them because they listened and they did not judge. Um, my relationship, like I said, with God, that's it in a nutshell. Me talking to him. I did more talking to God than I did anything.
mhm,
That's
mhm,
it. I did more talking to him than more of asking why me, why what, why God, why, and I just really I couldn't understand the why,
mhm,
my why,
mhm.
my story. I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand it, and I remember I would write a little bit like journal. I would write journaling, but the book I kind of stayed busy too. And
Uh-huh.
that kind of helped me, staying busy, building the book, building the brand. Like I told you, I am rebuilding and relaunching my brand. But that was it. Those were my babies. So I would
Okay.
spend more time in my office than I would do anything else.
Okay. Okay.
So I guess
So
I hid myself behind my work. How about that?
I got you. So at any point, did you guys go to counseling?
No,
No. Okay.
no. Both of us together, no.
Okay.
I did talk to a counselor, but us together, no, because he didn't want to.
Really?
Yeah. And it's really I think for some of our African American men, they need to really understand that it's okay to go to counseling. It's
Yeah.
okay to have someone that is neutral in
Mhm.
the situation to talk about it um with us, but no, he did not. I did.
Now, I will say, as a couples therapist, I do see apprehension on the husband's side more so than I do on the wife's side. I
Hmm.
see apprehension like all the time.
Right.
Even when it comes to something as small as filling out the paperwork so that we can start the sessions. The husband is typically the very last person to do it
Hmm.
because, and he might do it up to 10 minutes before the session because they have apprehension, but they will come. Um,
Hmm.
but it's like pulling teeth. So
Yeah,
it's almost like you want to say, well, why are you even here? But
exactly.
but
Exactly.
it takes some skill to work with black men. It
Right.
takes skill.
Right.
Absolutely. So where do you want to take us on the journey from here?
Say that again for me, Ashley.
I said, where do you want to take us on the journey from here?
On the journey from here, I guess I want to take us to um, recovery.
Okay.
Um, recovery, my recovery, rebuilding,
Mm-hmm.
um, and resetting who I am, and the whole thing made me look at myself differently,
Mm-hmm.
value me more, really, my heart. I'm not so open with my heart. That's not, sometimes it's not really good though,
Mm-hmm.
but I guard my heart.
Okay.
I really do guard my heart. But one thing that I think that I want the journey for women, married women, single women, any woman that's, been in a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
um, just know your worth. Like that's the biggest thing is knowing your worth and and understanding and loving you. And once you love you, then you'll know what you're willing to take or willing to accept or willing to deal with. Me, I'm committed to the marriage bond.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided, okay, I'm gonna stay in my marriage because I made a commitment to God.
Right.
But some other women may not feel that way. And you don't have to, I'm not saying everybody needs to stay in a marriage because not all marriages are good marriages.
Right.
Some marriages are very, 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 very toxic.
Yes.
Some women are being abused. And I need you to know your worth. I need you to value you. I need you to live your best life.
Mm-hmm.
Dream dreams and live those dreams. So that's my journey. My journey is on to dreaming big and fulfilling those dreams. Like this right here is just the beginning. You're the icing on the cake. um Here, this is our journey together. you know Next time we'll be on a bigger platform. We'll see each other again
Mm-hmm.
because we're gonna be at the table together. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the journey to move forward, help women, and that's what I'm doing. So my journey, I gotta plug this in.
Okay.
um August 27th, I'm doing my first master course on infidelity recovery because
Okay.
I think that's going to be powerful and that's going to be helpful to some women.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have it posted on my social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram, how you can get connected with that. So that's the Infidelity Recovery Master Course. And I'm super excited about that. That's a new baby for me. That's a new journey for me. So I think
Okay.
that in the process, it's going to be some healing and some growing on my behalf too.
Okay. Well, congratulations. That's
Thank
exciting.
you. Yes.
Okay. So how do you get to loving yourself and knowing your worth after the damage is done?
I think for me, I had to have a serious talk with myself,
Mm-hmm.
a serious conversation in the mirror,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to tell myself, girl, like you don't deserve this. Like
Mm-hmm.
you deserve more. And some people don't feel that they deserve more. They feel like the hand that they're dealt is the hand that they're supposed to have. And I think for me, it's always going to go back to where I am, my foundation. in God and gaining that strength. That's where the strength comes from, Ashley. That's where it came from for me. Just being able to talk to him and just, Father God, I need you to show me. I just need you, like, I need you to show me.
Yeah.
I really need you to show me. I need you to show me if this man is for me or if this
Mm-hmm.
man's not for me. I need you to show me, God. I need you to direct my path. And slowly but surely, every day got better. Each day got better, and I got stronger and stronger and stronger. And that's how I gain my strength. Just it's the spiritual. It's there. I mean, not everybody is there. Some
Right.
people, you might want to musa, meditate, take a deep breath, take deep breaths. Whatever
Mm-hmm.
it is that you have to do to get back to where you need to be,
Mm-hmm.
to reset who you are. You see? So if it's meditation that needs to happen, you need to tune into whatever, tap into to God, tap into what tap into the universe, and just gain your strength. You got to pull on your strength. Sometimes we got to push through. My girls
Mm-hmm.
in Houston, they use that term. They say you gotta push through. Push through,
Yeah.
sis, push through. So you gotta push through. Sometimes you
Yeah.
gotta push through even when you don't feel like it, even when you don't want to, Ashley. You gotta push through. You
You
gotta
do.
come through. Come through for you.
You
And
do.
some things are generational, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen our parents go through it, we've seen our aunts, and we may have seen those things and picked up on those things, and that's why we accepted some things, because we saw it being accepted there.
That's true.
But you got to break the cycle. So you break the cycle, break the curse.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Um, so you you push through.
Yes.
You basically, just like you're rebranding your website, you were essentially rebranding yourself,
Of course.
basically.
Yes. Yes, that's it in a nutshell. I was rebranding who I am.
Hmm.
Rebranding. Rebranding me.
Absolutely. So, um, did your husband notice the changes you were making?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely. Um,
What
he
did
did.
that what did that look like?
Um, for so again, like I told you, my husband is like one of my biggest supporters. Like he
Mhm.
supports everything. So I think that he's proud, seeing me recover.
Mhm.
He's happy. He might not be happy about what I say, right?
Mhm.
But I think he is happy to see me heal. So I guess it looks really, really good because he knows that I'm healing.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
And long as I'm healing, I ain't stressing him out. Right?
Right.
Right. Okay. So we're gonna keep it real. Let her heal, because if she don't heal, then she gonna really be stressing me about this. And I need her to heal. So I think God
Absolutely.
heard his prayers.
Okay. So so what does how how did he heal? Because even though he was the one that was, cheating, he he had some things, some damage that he had to heal from as well.
Yes.
So, do you know how he did that?
So I'm gonna say this. So one thing I did not share with you, and you asked me about, the healing process and all of this. My husband prayed for me. And because it was a point, actually, when I literally stopped praying, I guess.
Okay.
After I'm questioning and asking God, and I'm done. and my husband prayed for me. He asked God to heal me.
Mhm.
Um, so for him, I'm gonna say that his healing, some of his healing, and I'm not saying that he's totally healed. I'm not gonna
Right.
say that because, of course, like he's shying away from the counseling. But I am gonna say that he knows how to pray.
Okay.
That he does talk to God. Um, and I'm gonna say this. Um, about 4 years ago, we lost my stepson. So my stepson was murdered. So that's a traumatic
My
experience for him. So on top of that, he's dealing with now, okay, my son's gone. Now my wife's gonna be gone. So he's trying to heal from both of those things. And yeah, he probably does need to be sitting in the counselor's chair, talking
Mhm.
to a counselor um, to help. But I can say that I know he loves God, and he does definitely talk to God. So I can say that.
Well, I'm so sorry to hear that about your stepson. I'm sorry to hear that. Um, and I pray that your husband, does change his mind,
Hmm.
um, to to get therapy, because
Right.
he has trauma.
Yes.
He has some trauma that he's walking around with and holding on to.
Mm.
So I pray that he does take that step to get therapy, because it'll be really helpful for him.
Right.
It really will. Um, but thank you for sharing that, because now that adds another piece of the puzzle,
Hmm.
and it makes it even more understanding
Right.
about where he was.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even though he was cheating before that,
Right.
but just that part up until now, like it's clear. It's clearer to me. I
Hmm.
don't know if it's clear to anybody else, but it's clear to me. Um, and I guess that's just because of my profession. I don't
Of
know,
course.
but so yes, there's work that still has to be done.
Hmm.
And there are things that you guys have to do, because it's still new. It's
Right.
only been 2 years.
Correct.
It's still new.
That's right.
It's still fresh. And when you talked about the triggers earlier, I heard you say that, and I said, okay, there's she still has healing to do, but I did not want to assume that.
Hmm.
So that's why I was asking you about, how did you heal? Because I didn't want to, I don't know what the process was that God took you through.
Right.
Because even though it's 2 years that it happened, you could be totally healed.
Right.
Because he can do anything.
Of
So
course.
I didn't want to assume that.
Right.
So if my question sounded redundant,
No.
I'm sorry for that.
No, that's all right. No, I
Okay.
get it.
Okay. Um, so this is so good. Okay. We have some questions for you. I'm
Oh,
gonna pause here. We have some questions for you. Okay. And y'all, if you have any other questions, go ahead and get them in now so that Angela can address them, okay? Go ahead and drop your questions in the comments. Okay. Can you say your acronym for BOSS again?
sure. It's built on sacrificial suffering.
Okay. And how did you come up with that acronym?
Oh, well, God gave me that in the shower. So
Okay.
I had been for probably since 2014 calling myself a boss wife, a boss wife.
Okay.
And one day I was talking to somebody and I was just telling them I wanted to do this brand and I want to do it's the boss wife. So the person asked me, well, what does the word boss mean to you?
Mhm.
And I was like, you know what? I was thinking just like everybody else from an entrepreneurial standpoint, but I asked God. I remember I was in the shower and I asked God, God, I really want this to mean something. I want it to
Mm,
make sense and have some substance when I say the word boss.
mhm,
And
mm,
right in the shower, he gave it to me. I heard it just as plain as day. Built on sacrificial suffering. I didn't even realize at the time that he was leading up to this book, the
mm.
brand,
Okay.
to the what was going on in my life. And I'm like, okay, built on sacrificial suffering. So then I'm thinking, so how many times as women do we sacrifice for our men? That was just a
Mhm,
little small piece of it.
mhm,
I sacrificed a lot in my marriage.
mhm,
I gave a lot in my marriage. I gave a lot of myself in my marriage.
mhm,
A lot of times I sacrificed myself and gave it to the marriage when I should have been giving it to God. God
mm.
should have been getting all my energy,
Wow.
not the marriage.
Wow. That's so good. Okay. So did boss ring in your mind after he told you that he was not faithful?
The word boss?
The acronym that the
No,
Lord gave you.
that didn't ring in my no, that wasn't ringing in my. It was a whole lot of other things that were ringing in my ear, and boss was not it, honey.
Okay.
Boss, I had to build on sacrificial suffering. It was a sacrifice, baby, that I was thinking about, and it was nothing to do with the book, the marriage, or anything like that. And it was nothing holy about what I was thinking. I promise you, I promise you that. So no,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay.
Oh,
Um,
to know
did
me
you
is to love me. Oh, oh God.
did your did your husband have any children outside of the marriage?
Um, when you say outside the marriage, so I have 3 children that we had together,
Okay.
and I have three. Well, I had 3 stepchildren, so
Okay.
it was 6 of them.
Okay. So I guess
They
the
were
question.
there prior.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So there's the answer to the question. No, he
Mhm.
didn't have any kids with the people he was with. Okay.
How about
So
not to my knowledge?
all right, not to her knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how do you get through the triggers?
Whoo. Mm, 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 mm. Um, Sometimes it's not pretty. I'm be honest. Sometimes it's not pretty. Sometimes I lash out at him when I'm angry.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, shoot. Woo. That's hard. That's rough, y'all. To really get through having those trigger moments. And sometimes I do a lot of talking to myself. So really not talking to yourself does not mean you're crazy, okay?
No, it doesn't.
And it does not mean that you're crazy. And I do a lot of talking to myself. And I might play things in my mind. And I got to realize, is that thought really coming from, because the devil plays tricks with the
Yes,
mind.
he does.
So I have to really think about that. Is this coming? Is this something that's real, or is this something that the devil's just throwing here for me to get upset, to change my day? So I guess getting through those triggers, and especially with him, and I take it out on him, then you know he might say something to me like, "We gotta go through this again. I thought we were through with that. I thought this was over. I thought, and it brings me back to reality. Like, you forgave him. So
Mhm.
why are you constantly digging up? So it's like I'm going to a funeral, right?
Mhm.
I have the funeral. I
Mhm.
bury this thing.
Mhm.
But then I go to and I go through the whole funeral, the whole ritual of the funeral,
Mm-hmm.
do the burial, go to the graveyard, dig it up, go back through the whole funeral again.
Yeah.
I'm reliving it all over again. And at some point, I have to ask myself, like, it was taking too much of my energy. So for me to deal with the triggers, I guess it's like you got to really think. You got to really take a moment, breathe deep, and really think about what it is that you're thinking about, what it is that you're mad about. What is it really something that you should be mad about?
Right.
Yeah, so dealing with the trigger moments is, I think, it's just my thought process and maturity and
Mm.
growing up in this thing, and realizing, okay, I am still hurting, and recognizing that I'm hurting. And it's good to have, good people to talk to. You can't talk to everybody now,
You can't.
okay? Because everybody, some people are listening for a reason,
Yeah.
okay? But the ones that are really true, and God has put some really good people in my life that will listen to what I have to say
Good.
and give me that support that I need.
Good. Good. Okay. Um, did your husband make any adjustments to help with the healing in the marriage?
Yeah, I think so. He kind of stopped hanging out. Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's
now it's like a
helpful.
couch potato. So yeah, I think he did. I really think he did. I think that he is wanting me to believe him, that he really, really, truly, truly does love me. Um, and he tries really hard on that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So is he going to write the book?
he did read. So okay, so my husband was there at the very beginning, and I would give him, like, my pages, that I was my draft pages, and he would read some of those. Has he read my entire book? He's picked up my book and he's put my book back down.
Okay.
So will he eventually read it all? Maybe. I don't know.
So will he write his own story?
Um, he's talked about a collaboration. How about that?
That was okay. That actually was an idea that popped in my mind.
He
Okay.
talked about a collaboration, but I think yeah, that's something that I'll be open to. Yeah.
Because, you know, just from the little bit that you told us about even his upbringing, he has a powerful story. And his story that he can tell will free a lot of men.
Yes.
It most definitely can, because there are men who were just like him in
Hmm.
the car with their dad or in the car with their mom
True.
and going to see their little, little piece, little side
Hmm.
piece. And the view was spun in such a way that it was acceptable.
Right.
So he can most definitely free a lot of people, a lot of men with his story. And the both of you writing the story together will free up a lot of marriages. Because one thing, when I heard you talking, one thing that rang clear for me was your story doesn't have to just help somebody who's going through infidelity. Your
Right.
story can help a woman, a wife who, it may not be infidelity, it might be just something that has happened in the marriage to cause her to feel less than.
Right.
Something that has caused her self-esteem to go down. So I don't know if you ever thought about it that way.
Yeah.
But okay. but absolutely, your story can definitely help women in different situations. Absolutely, because it can take anything for us to feel less than.
That's right. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. It can take anything to
Hmm.
make us feel less than. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. So
awesome. Um, my husband, he said that would be a powerful collaboration.
really,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
So, do you have any closing remarks? Anything that you want to say to the viewers?
Um, well, I think the one thing that I really want to say is put God first. Um, in anything that you do, in your relationship, um, in your business, anything that you're trying to accomplish, put God first. If you're married and you're going through trying times, and it's worth saving,
Hmm.
and it's worth saving. I
Hmm.
mean, you got to look at it. Look at his good, look at his bad. And if the good outweighs the bad, then it may be something worth saving.
Yes.
Put yourself first, though, meaning not literally putting yourself first, but don't forget about yourself. Love yourself. Take care of yourself.
Hmm.
Look at yourself in the mirror every day and say, I'm beautiful, I'm amazing, I'm great, I'm wonderful, I'm wonderfully made. God made me, you know, I mean, this way. Marvel in who you are.
Yes.
Love you. Love you before you can love somebody else. You got to love you. And
Yeah.
that's so important because you can't love anybody else if you don't love you,
Absolutely.
right? So I think that right there is my words to love yourself, love God, love yourself, and love your husband.
There you have it, y'all. You got it right there. Angela, thank you.
You're
Thank you, thank you, thank
welcome.
you for being so transparent
You're
and
welcome.
for sharing your story. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashley.
No problem. I'm gonna extend the invitation to you too. If you want to come back, you can.
Oh,
It-
most definitely. You know we're gonna have a part two.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So y'all, there is really not much more for me to tell you. And there's nothing else for us to say. And we're going to close with, well, before we close, I just want y'all to do one thing for me. My husband's birthday is on Sunday. Can we say happy early birthday to him really quick, y'all? Happy
Yeah.
birthday, honey.
Happy birthday. Have a blessed day. Have an amazing day.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. Okay. So there's only one thing left to say, y'all, and that is what is your love experience? If you want to be in Angela's place, all you have to do is DM me, let me know, and I will set you up with a date and the time. You know, the show comes on at 8 because you're watching it now. So set you up with a date and a time. He says, thank you. So that's all we got, folks. Have a great night.